Welcome back to a delayed episode of Satisfactory Update 7. I know it's been a while since I put out an episode. Real life has been just crazy busy right now, so I did kind of peace out for the last little over a month here, but we're going to get an episode done here right now. So sit back, relax, and let's jump into it. So first things first, let's talk about where we left off last time. So last time we had completed our iron plate manufacturing, which is all done on this level here. We also completed our iron rod manufacturing, which is all getting done on this level. And then we moved up to this level here to be able to make our iron screws. So all the iron screws are getting done on this level that's here. And that's where we kind of left off starting our iron manufacturing. But we have since gone and added a few more things. We kind of moved out of constructor phase and started to head up to our assembler phase, which is right here. So our first set of assemblers, we have 30 assemblers set up in here right now that, if we look at these, hello, why am I not able to look at them? There we are. Making reinforced iron plate. 30 per minute of iron plate and 60 per minute of screws, making a total of 5 per minute across the 30 that we have here, is making us 150 iron plate per minute, reinforced iron plate per minute. And that, of course, all feeds down this way, and then it accumulates here and then feeds up this way all the way down to this far end. And then we're taking this iron, the reinforced iron plate, and it moves up to this next level here. So this is the logistics I have in place for our assemblers for making our modular frames, which of course takes 7.5 reinforced iron plate and 140 screws. We're using an alternate recipe here. This is our bolted frame recipe. This makes 5 per minute spread out across, what do I have? A total of 12 assemblers here to be able to handle the manufacturing for these, which is giving us a whopping total of 60 per minute of our modular frames. So modular frames are getting manufactured now. So we have our reinforced iron plate down there, our modular frames here. And then, of course, that, I think right now, modular frames are just chilling here. We're not doing anything with them yet. Eventually, those will move on to different assemblies as we progress here. But the next floor up is, we've got our logistics here. We've got screws coming in, and we have iron rods. And then we have a total of 10 assemblers up here that are manufacturing our rotors for us. So we are making a total of 40 per minute of our rotors. So we kind of went from our construction phase into our assembler phase of our iron goods. Now, I'm sure there's going to be some more assembler things that we do have to work on here in a bit, but for now, I thought that was a pretty good step. We got 3 more chunks of this, all feeding off of what we're making from our iron goods down here. And we still have, I think we still have a little bit of iron left over. Of course, I do have some of that iron going on to our next project. So from here, let's go have a look at our next project I was working on. Just before we head over to that next project, though, I did start kind of cosmetically kind of tying in some of these conveyor chutes that I've got around here, just, trying to tie in a couple of different building structures. I still got to do something with this bottom layer of conveyors that are here, but, let me know in the description or in the comments there what you think of my conveyor tube system I've got set up here. I don't know. I think it looks, kind of a modern-esque catwalk system that's here. I'm all right with the way it's turning out so far, but let me know what you guys think of it. But in the meantime, let's go head over to the next project I was working on. All right, the next project we dove into over here was our steel ingot manufacturing. Remember way off back when we were dealing with the coal plant? I had those lines set aside over here that were going to be dedicated to steel manufacturing. Well, that's this coal that's coming up this way and feeds on into our, I think we're using foundries here to make our coal. And I believe too that we're also using a alternate recipe here of solid steel ingots, which is 40 iron and 40 coal per minute to be able to make 60 steel ingots per minute. Fairly efficient. I believe there is one more slightly more efficient alternate recipe that we could have went with that actually used compact coal. But then I'd have to make sure I had enough sulfur for that. And I wanted to make sure that my sulfur was going to be good for my sulfuric acid that we're going to be needing later on. So, and sulfur's another one of those nodes, the resources out there that are maybe a little bit more finite. So you kind of want to make sure you have enough of that for what you need it for before you start dumping it into compact coal. So going with the solid steel ingot just kind of made a little bit more sense. So yeah, we've got how many? We got 84 foundries here that are using that alternate recipe to make 5,040 steel ingots per minute. So we do have a little bit of coal left here remaining. At some point, I will take this coal and we will attach it to the big coal system that leads back to all of our coal power generation we have on that far side, where I basically took all of the coal nodes except for this small handful that's being used for steel to generate coal power. Not that we really needed it, because eventually our goal is still to get to nuclear power. But, you know, if it's there, why not use it? We're supposed to be basically eating all of the resources we can off of this planet. And I think we're doing a pretty good job so far of tearing into this planet and using every last drop of it. I think Fixit will be proud of our efficiency and our total use of materials. So anyhow, from the steel ingots, let's move on to the next floor. So our next floor up, this is the distribution or the logistics layer that's handling our steel ingot distribution that then shoots up to this level that we've got constructors all set up on here. So we have a total of 52 constructors all fed down this side, and then of course on this side as well too, that are making all of our steel beams. And in total, we're making 780 steel beams per minute. So one full line of 780 items per minute are all shooting down this way. And some of them get used a little bit later on, but we will touch base on that here in a bit. Then, of course, we've got another 64 constructors set up over here. This is looking after all of our steel pipe manufacturing, and we're making about 1,280 steel pipe per minute out here. Just using the standard recipes. There's no alternates. I'm not even sure if there is an alternate recipe. I think actually there is some different recipes for being able to make pipe and whatnot, but we're just using the standard constructor recipe right now. And all in all, I think it turned out okay. It didn't take up as much room as I figured it was going to. But this platform did kind of shift in its shape a little bit as we started adding some of these construction lines. Now, there is one more floor here that we dive into that we're taking our steel beams into to be able to make our industrial encased steel beams. But this required concrete. And as you can see, I have concrete here. Well, I built all of our concrete clear across the planet way over on that far side. So I built a rail system here that's delivering all of our concrete needs that we need for this manufacturing. And it's actually only pulling from these first two. This one here I just kind of left as a drop-off zone. If I need to pick up some concrete, I could just grab it from here when need be, instead of having to go all the way back over to our concrete plant. But with that said, I'm going to go show you the rest of our train distribution line here. So what better way of showing you the train system than to come here and, you know, hop aboard on this and kind of have a ride with our train as we head out of here. We're just unloading some concrete right now at our steel manufacturing line, and then we will do a quick little time lapse of our train route. All right, we are approaching our concrete factory over here that's making all of our concrete. And as you can see, we're braking as we come into our train station here at the concrete plant. And it says concrete station. And we will load up our additional concrete that gets loaded in here. This is the first time I've actually done anything with trains. This is a simple route. It's just a loop with a pickup and an unload station. That's all that's in there. I haven't dealt with any switching yet. That will come along in the future, but for now, this is what we are running with for our train. So let's head back over to our steel manufacturing plant. And here we are pulling back into our steel station here, and we will just exit out of the train as things get unloaded there. So all that was put in place here so that we could get our concrete over here to be able to make our the encased industrial beams is what we're making up here. And we have 30 assemblers set up here. Our recipe of choice is just encased industrial beams, which is the standard recipe. And that is making 180 of these encased industrial beams up here, ready for us to move on to other manufacturing lines in the future. So there's our steel production plant, basically all finished, ready to move on to our next phase of manufacturing. So that was another project that I kind of got done over this last month and a bit. So let's head out to project number 3. And here is our project number 3, which is our Caterium manufacturing. We have 75 refineries set up here using the alternate recipe Pure Caterium Ingots that we are manufacturing on this. And of course we have them right now getting dumped into an awesome sink. I've just fired up these awesome sinks. It was kind of sitting all full, but everything is all cruising along here with no issues. Everything is working seamlessly. We are overproducing the water just by a tiny little bit, but at least this way I know it's never going to starve out. And basically how I'm handling the water is we have 300 cubic meters per second or per minute coming in here. We have a check valve coming in at this end that forces the fluid to slosh that way. And then we have the other line goes all the way down to this end with another check valve in place there at another 300 cubic meters per minute. There's our check valve. Give us a total of 600 cubic meters of water that are looking after 25 of the refineries. And we rinse and repeat this 3 times. In total, this is making 900 Caterium ingots per minute. In the future, we'll be taking those ingots and turning them into quick wire and whatever other manufacturing needs we will have. I think it's just quick wire we need with the Caterium. So this was our next project that we did. This is project number 3. But there's one last thing that we did get finished, and that is over this way. So let's go check that out. So here we are at our copper ingot manufacturing facility that we have here, where we're making just a ridiculously large amount of copper ingots. And we had all that real estate up above for future development. Well, that future development is what we did. But it really didn't take as much space as I thought it was going to. So, I mean, yeah, we clearly have lots of real estate up here that we can still further develop over here to be able to add some more production lines. So what are we dealing with over here? We've got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines. I think we're using 8 lines of our copper ingots we've got here, which is still, I've got tons of copper ingots that I'm not even touching yet. So we may have gone just a little bit overboard with how much copper we were making, but I mean, what we don't use will just get dumped into an awesome sink and we'll be fine with. But first things first, we have 156 constructors here that are manufacturing our copper wire. So in total, that works out to, what is it? It is 4,680 copper wire is what is getting manufactured here. And of course, I put in these glass floors so you can see the logistics underneath of everything that's getting made. All in all, I think the build kind of turned out fairly well. Kind of cookie cutter, these manufacturing lines. We've seen them in our iron manufacturing that's done over that way. We've seen it in the steel. I'm just kind of rinse and repeating the same thing. Why reinvent the wheel? So yeah, well over 4,000 copper wire getting made. And then of course we take that and we dump it into some more of these, not all of it of course, but a good chunk of it is going into these constructors. We have a total of 39 constructors that are making our copper cabling, giving us a total of 1,170 copper cable per minute is what we are making right now. So, and we're this just standard recipe, turning our quick wire or turning our wire into copper cabling. So right now this stuff isn't getting awesome sunk. It's just kind of, once it's made because it will be going into other production lines in the future here. So finally, we then have 156 constructors set up over here. And this is manufacturing all of our copper sheeting. 156 in total constructors will make 2 full lines of 780 items per minute of our copper sheeting. So we have a total of 1,560 copper sheeting that we are making out of our copper lines here. So yeah, we're using 8 of our lines of copper ingots that we're manufacturing, which means a bunch of this copper is not even moving. Like we got 3 lines of copper that, well, 2 of them aren't moving and one's barely moving. The rest of these are, chugging along. 4 of them moving. And this one's kind of every once in a while will move. So yeah, we maybe overdid the copper just a little bit, but there might be some other manufacturing lines along the ways that will use some of this copper. So I'm not terribly concerned about it. So, but that's where we're at. This is how far I made it. These were projects that I took care of when I had a few spare minutes to be able to play. I didn't have time to be able to record while I was doing it, and certainly didn't have time to edit a video. I'm really hoping you enjoyed this recap. What is to come? Well, the next project that we got to be working on is I need to get my aluminum manufacturing done. we need to be making our aluminum ingots. We need to be making our aluminum plating. We need to make aluminum casting. We need all kinds of aluminum stuff that we've got to take care of. And we've got all of this water space out here that we could be dealing with for that. And I believe we can go out to, it's a fair distance. I want to say it's right out about that far that we can go out here before we hit the world border and start taking some damage. So we've got some room here that I think this area here is going to be predominantly our aluminum manufacturing line. But of course, with that, we've got tons of bauxite that we've got to go out and scrounge and get moved over this way. I don't even know offhand. I know it's a lot of aluminum that we have to make. So that's what we get to look forward to in the next episode. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this Mega Factory 2.0 recap video here to get caught up with some of the manufacturing things that I did get done. So reach down, hit the like button on the video if you could. And if you are new to the channel, feel free to reach over and click that old subscribe. I'd still say we're about 90% of my views on my channel are from unsubscribed viewers. So if you could reach over and hit that subscribe button, that would be fantastic. And then, of course, as we all know how well YouTube notifications work, I also post notifications on Instagram and Twitter when I have uploaded a video. So you can follow me at TerrisDWDC for the social medias. With that all said, guys, I hope you have yourself a fantastic day. Welcome to June. It's almost summertime. You guys have a good one, and we will see you in the next episode. Ciao.